A lost civilization, a forgotten people, an androgynous being that was once worshipped, forgotten, the lost Entwives. I know in your art of seeing you wanted some answers about trees and about things in your current life, about yourself. Spirit wants you to move away from thoughts of self and wants to tell you about your long lost spiritual past. And this will include you as an androgynous, both male and female being with 6 fingers and perhaps 6 toes. And these beings are, Edgar Cayce talks about these beings and how powerful they were and how they have been lost. So let's look at your symbology in this piece, and I will tell you something about your personal life. But Spirit cares more about you awakening and becoming powerful than worrying about fulfilling your personal emotional needs at this time. Like a clock, we're going to look at 6 o'clock. This is where the tree begins. The tree is the tree of knowledge, the tree of life. And this tree is talking about things in the past, present, and future. This tree of life, through symbology, is explaining something to us that perhaps we have forgotten. So every symbol in your piece is going to contain layers and a myriad of explanations for you, not just one meaning. So at 6 o'clock, we see the tree and the heart, and we see the tree falling over. We see a sleeping dragon at 5 o'clock. We see a man with his hand out. He has 6 fingers. There is a Pan that is a spiritual being of spirit that is showing at 11 o'clock, someone with 6 fingers, their hand showing the number 6. Androgynous beings were like Maleficent, very powerful, like with wings, and they are associated with Dagon, the fish god. Many ancient carvings and paintings show this male and female being as one. And even Atum was the one god who created himself, and then all these things happened. So there's a lot of descriptions, even in our Bible, of Adam being split into Eve, how we were split somehow in half. Now, I've done the art of seeing on it before, and apparently a bearded man split us in half and took away our power. And it's somehow also associated with symbologies in the Lord of the Rings. Sodomon was the King Solomon, and King Solomon had a ring of power, and the jinn took over our religions and took over our reality and burned our history in order to take the female and use the female for their purpose. And so the false male and the female has been kind of hijacked. On the Lord of the Rings, there was the lost Entwives. So the female part of the tree of life has been lost. And you're here in your piece, it's explaining, I'm finding the found Entwives, the found true female, and what happened and where we come from, what the Jinn did to us. You are at 11 o'clock and you're lifting up your glasses. This means, oh, I'm beginning to see the truth. If we look at the monkey right above the tree, this reflects that the female part, many of us were sent to the animal kingdom in order to procreate for I think, a sinister and dark agenda. I'll send you a link about this. You have many examples of somebody with 6 fingers. This is someone who is both male and female. And what you're also being told is you don't need a man. There is no true man that will make you feel whole because your true other self hasn't been found yet. You're a lost Entwife. And there's an energy within the tree that seems to be this male spirit that's saying to you, you have another divine half. And it's somehow connected to the tree of life or the tree of knowledge. It may seem elementary to some for me to reference the Lord of the Rings when that is supposedly a fictional story, but the dragon and the Entwives and King Solomon is King Sodomon, and the Jinn and the Ring of Power is a true story. Remember, Saruman destroyed trees, destroyed the female, destroyed something precious that we have long forgotten in our history, and yet reflects something that we see in ancient art and ancient statues to be true. Now we're going to talk about gematria, the numbers that showed up in your pieces. The true angel are androgynous beings. So you have this angelic being, and it's speaking of a male and female spirit that was very powerful, and that was you. And Saturn hides the truth from followers and provides them with false information. So we have been provided with false information from the jinn. I thought I could save the world before I found out that they're not even human. Many of the male energies are a reptilian or a draconian. They are the false other half of ourselves. And so we often mate with them and have their children, and they aren't our true love. They aren't equally yoked to us in spirit. There's a lot of communication about wanting to destroy these beings because of how they destroyed something precious and wonderful once upon a time. Because in your divinity, you're both male and female, and there are spirits that are being eaten because they are dark and evil, and there are spirits who are being set free. So in your divine self, you become aware of the truth, and you eat the bad guys and you set the good guys free. Kind of like Maleficent, her wings were cut. And then when she got her wings back, she was able to do what needed to be done. So I don't know of a name for you in your divinity, because there are many androgynous gods or goddesses that have the 6 fingers, but they've been lost. So your name has been lost, but I do know what you do and who you are and where you come from. You come from a place before the flood, and it was like Atlantis, and people worshipped Dagon, the fish god, just as the Pope today still worships Dagon, the fish god. You can see it with their clothing that they have. And how even the jinn took over our religion, so that Catholicism perpetuates this false union where a very powerful female was cut from her true male counterpart, and we began mating with the false male, and it caused trouble because we never felt good. We never felt equally yoked. We never felt like we were with our true other self, like being parted from God. Notice that the guy by the tree with the hat on that's not the angel is holding like a bucket or some kind of pail or some kind of purse. This is in an ancient art. These androgynous beings are always holding a pail or a purse. There's also some communication about Yellowstone blowing, that volcanoes, at the time of the volcano, and solar energy and magnetic pulls and black holes and all of this stuff is going on within our current reality, and that it's not time to be playing around and falling in love and serving the flesh and being in a dream world. It's time to wake up. Serious things are happening, and we need to be serious about our personal power, serious about connecting with our divine self, connecting with spirit, and letting go of all energies that are dead. There are people who are dead. Jesus said, "Let the dead bury the dead." These dead people should be taken out of your life. Don't be looking for a male energy who will do nothing but bring you death. Go to the tree. This man says, "Build it and I will come." This means sit by the tree, talk to this being, allow yourself to become nothing and no one, and he will fill you with everything and everyone and information. And this, I believe, is your true counterpart. He's a spirit. And allow the spirit to dominate you, and he will help you to unite with your true path, your true divine self, and your true power, not this false reality that we've been in for so long. And this false reality is like a curse, and it's not what you're meant to be. This is your divinity. You are androgynous. You are both male and female. You are one of the lost entwives. That's why you love trees so much. So you are the female at 12 o'clock. The male is more toward 1 o'clock. There is a bird with the all-seeing eye over both of you. You had wings. You could fly. I don't believe it was fish. I don't believe it was a fish energy. It was more like flying bird energy. You are touching a skull. You are the energy of death. Your counterpart is the energy of life. So there's death energy coming out of the skull. And then the angels grow their spirits toward the male part of yourself. Now, the lion at 6 o'clock reflects a prison planet. And these are, I don't know, a lower realm. You're in the higher realm. There's a lower realm. But I will say that gematria saying that angels are androgynous, you have a lot of angel energy. I think it's more like Maleficent. You lost your wings from a bearded man. And this bearded man was taken away from you. And so you've been lost ever since for many lifetimes. Read about this princess code. It's about how the female was stolen and taken to the animal world to mate with an alien Luciferian race. And we have been lost ever since.